Hello and welcome to Back at Camp, Mojave County's only outdoor television show. I'm your host, Don Martin, and on today's show we're going to talk to a couple of folks who were just recently involved in a youth javelina hunt in nearby Unit 18B. It's going to be exciting. We've even got some footage for you to see, so don't go away. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to Back at Camp. I'm your host, Don Martin. On today's show, I have two special guests. I have Laura Borden. Hi, Laura. And I have Tad Levandowski, who's one of the guys at Arizona Wildlife Outfitters. Now, what this show is all about is about a recent juniors javelina hunt in Unit 18B, which is east of Wickiup. Now, Laura, before this hunt started, what did you do to prepare for it?
I went and sighted in the gun I was going to use for the hunt.
Which was?
Your AR-15.
Okay, she was using a Rock River Arms Fred Eichler edition AR-15 that we've kind of got dialed in for her. It's got a special scope on it, it's got a bipod on it, and she shoots it really, really well. So you went out, you did some practicing, and how did it shoot?
Really well.
Okay, so we know the gun's on.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so also joining us on this trip was Jay Chan. Now, Jay goes on these things all the time, but unfortunately he wasn't able to come to the show today. But Jay was out there, her brother Ryan was out there, Tad came up on Saturday, but the hunt started on Friday. So what happened on Friday?
You, Jay, Ryan, and I, we went to a spot where we've seen pigs previous years and went glassing. And we found pigs across
but not many.
No, two across the canyon, and we watched them go up to the rocks and over.
Yeah, they were over 1,000 yards away. I glassed up these two pigs, which was actually pretty good because usually Jay finds the pigs before anybody. So Friday morning, the first day, I was sitting there glassing, and lo and behold, I see two pigs at over 1,000 yards walking around in this basin. And I'm thinking, no, there's not two pigs. There's got to be a group of them. So I'm watching them. I tell Laura, better go get Jay and Ryan. And she does and comes back. And eventually we all see the pigs. And we're watching them. We watched them for what, over an hour?
Yeah.
We were wanting to see what they were going to do, if they were going to bed down or start feeding. Because, like I said, it's over 1,000 yards, but it's way across a canyon. So what did they end up doing?
They were just working their way up at a pretty steady pace, and they ended up picking up another pig, and they went over the top.
Yeah, we were sitting there looking at these two, and they were kind of climbing up this mountain, and all of a sudden we looked up, and there was a third pig. Now, understand, generally javelina are herd animals. They like to stay with other members of a herd. It's really unusual to see them two at a time. And what we determined on those two was it was an adult sow and an adult boar that was following her. Then they pick up a third one, all by itself. And we see them
work their way up over the top.
They work their way over the top. Well, by this time, you know, it's mid-morning, and for us to get around to where these pigs were, it's 4 miles to get around over there. So we decide, got to have some lunch, maybe a little power nap. And so we go back to camp, have lunch, take a power nap, get up, and up the mountain we go.
Yes.
So we get up there, we park, and we got about a half-mile walk to get up to the top of that mountain. And we get up there and start glassing, and what did we see?
We didn't see anything new. Jay saw about one pig by himself. Saw
a single pig, and it was several hundred yards down the rim. So we said, well, we'll move up, and at least you or Ryan would get a shot at it. So we move up there, get set up, and what happens?
We couldn't find the pig, so Jay decided to call a little bit, and we set up, and nothing.
Yeah, we glassed. I mean, Jay saw this pig walking. We get away from the rim, walk around, pop back over, get him set up to shoot. No pig. So I tell Jay, well, call. That pig's down there somewhere. we'll use this call, we'll get that pig to show up, maybe the other two will show back up. The only thing that happens, it's like we created a musical. Jay would call, and then what would happen?
Other hunters down below us were calling back.
They were calling back, and it was kind of interesting because we're all looking at each other saying, did you hear that? That's not an echo. Another hunter was down around the mountain, and we later met up with these folks, and when Jay would call, they thought they would answer him. Now, I'm not quite sure why, but anyway, it was kind of interesting because Jay would call, they would call, Jay would call, they would call, and ended up, we decided we're going to walk off the mountain and call it a day and see what would happen. So as we were going back down the mountain, though, I got lucky and was doing some glassing, and I glassed up 2 mule deer bucks, a smaller one and a bigger one, and the little one kept wanting to fight with the big one, but fortunately for him, he was in no mood for the fight. Then I glassed up 4 elk with 1 bull, so it was quite an evening, but you know, I mean, that's what happens in 18B. You never know what you're going to see. So Saturday morning, now Tad, you show up.
That I did.
You had work detail on Friday, so you couldn't make it up. Saturday morning, you show up bright and early, and we're going to go down and check out an area. We're all riding around the truck, heading down there. It's, you know, just right after daylight. And Tad, what did you see?
Well, a couple of them run across the road, so we stopped the truck. I got Ryan and Laura out, and we pursued them, but that thick buckbrush down there, who knows where those 2 pigs went. So we made our way back to truck after about half hour, 45 minutes, and continued down the road to your other glassing spot.
Yeah, so they come back. I mean, that's a good sign. We'd never seen pigs right there before. And so we go down our glassing spot, we park the truck, and you know, everybody's getting out and going up and getting up in this, what we call a rock pile. And we get up there, and I'm just getting up there and getting ready to look, and Jay's setting up his tripod, getting ready to look, and you come running down the hill. What's going on?
Well, on my way up the rock pile, I noticed a lot of javelina track, and I did look out. I guess it would be to the southeast at first, away from where I walked up from. I just had that notion, you know, always look behind you. So as everybody was coming up their way, I looked directly behind where we parked up on the sunny side of the hill. There's 12 or 14 pigs all coming up from a bedding spot, and I was maybe 50, 60 yards from you guys and had to trot over to get your attention and turn us around in the other direction, and then work at putting a stock on.
Well, we looked up, and underneath this sugar sumac tree must have been where they were bedded, and they just started coming out like ants. And we're counting them, and I think we ended up with 14 different pigs. Had a couple of sows, one had a little bitty red, and then there was a couple other sows that had half-grown footballs with them. So now they're about 500 yards from this point. Obviously, we're not going to, you know, start blazing away at them. So the plan was, you're going to take those 2. Jay and I are going to keep the eye, and you guys head up the mountain. So we got a good view of them on the mountain. They're walking along, and there was one great big boar. He kind of peeled off, was walking up the mountain, but the main group was kind of filtering down on a ridge. So what'd you guys see when you got up there?
Well, when we went down to the truck, past the truck, got the kids lightened up a little bit, went up the hill, and then had to go to the south, down the ridge. The pigs were just out of our sight, but at about 150 yards. So as we crept up over, the 2 kids were behind me, and I ranged them there at 125, 126 underneath some scrub oak. So I got them to sneak up next to me and tried to set them up so both of them could get a shot, you know, a double shot.
Yeah.
But the pigs kept moving, almost like following a covey of quail. So they took off. I huffed at them a couple times. They stopped, but neither one of them could get a good, clean rest. And then the group kept going down the ridge. So I said, come on, kids, let's go. And we moved down the ridge. And as we did, me and Laura were up front. Ryan was kind of behind us. And once again, we about stepped in them like quail. They flushed. 3 went one way, 2 went the other. Poor Laura couldn't see because everything's so tall. She did see the 3, but they went right in the scrub brush, and the 2 boogied up the hill. So I said, Ryan, take those if you can get a shot. And he did. He harvested one of them. His first shot went over, second one was a hit, and the third one was a fatal hit.
Yeah.
So he got his pig there, oh gosh, by 8:30 in the morning probably.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had been up there 15, 20 minutes, and Jay and I had the eye, and we were watching, and we saw those 2 going up the hill. But what we didn't know at that point, we heard the shot, and we knew that the first shot wasn't a hit. the second shot we definitely heard was a hit, and so was the third. And then we saw Ryan, and it looked like he was kind of pointing up the hill. So we figured out that Ryan had shot, and then you told us that she hadn't got a shot. So Ryan gets a nice boar, or a sow, young sow, and boy, he hit it twice. First shot was fatal, or the first time he hit it was fatal. So either the second or third shot, both of those were fatal shots. So we got him done. So you're over there looking for pigs. Now they're scurrying all over the country. Did you see any more?
We didn't see any more, but as you and Jay come down to the truck to meet me, Ryan, and Laura with the javelina, you said, hey, there's one standing over here underneath a little flat spot in the tree. So I took Laura up over the hill in the rock pile, but we couldn't never see it. Jay came up, tried a little bit of calling. I don't know, like they do. He just wandered off somewhere and we didn't get a shot. So we finished taking care of Ryan's
Got some
javelina.
grip and grin. Got some pictures of them, and got them loaded up. So now we're going to head back down by the rock pile, and now we're going to start glassing again. And what happens then?
Jay finds them on the second ridge over at the top.
So here we are, and all of a sudden I hear Jay say, hey, Laura, you want to go for a walk? And I'm thinking, uh-oh, I know what this means. And I said, Jay, did you find some pigs? And he goes, oh, yeah. So, and of course, you know, so Tad's found a group. Now Jay finds his group. There's about 10 in that group?
I think
So me and Ryan, we're going to keep the eye. I got the big spotting scope, so I tell him, okay, I'm going to keep the eye on them. So Jay and Tad and Laura, they head up a canyon, and what happened?
Well, we found him. We kept just working our way a little bit closer and closer, and sooner or later, the wind got the best of us, and
Swirling up through there?
yeah, and so about 2/4 or about half the pigs scurried off, and then there was only like 4 left, and they split off, and so then I could only get a shot at one of the 2, and Jay was calling it, and then Tad woofed at him, and they stopped, got a shot.
210 yards.
Yeah, and I missed.
She missed.
And then so they ran off, and I shot at the same one I shot before, just in case I hit him. I didn't want to wound him and leave him.
This was at 2:30.
Yes.
Okay. So these guys scurry off. You've had 2 shots. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to see what happens. She's missed 2 shots. She's never missed 2 shots in her life. But then again, 200 and 230 yards, 210 and 230. That's a long ways to be shooting. So we're going to take a break. Be right back after the word from our sponsor. What do you do?
I just slowly pulled the trigger and
Welcome back to Back at Camp. I'm your host, Don Martin. We're talking with Laura Borden and Tad Levandowski today about a pig hunt that they went on in Unit 18B. When we left, Laura and Tad and Jay had located a second herd of pigs that morning, and the wind kind of got them all messed up. Pigs took off, and Laura got 2 long shots but didn't connect. So now here we are. We're done with that. It's not even noon, and we've already seen, counting the 2 that ran across the road, we've seen 3 groups of pigs, and the score right now is pigs 2, hunters 1. So we decide that, okay, we're gonna go back, grab something to eat, and then we're gonna go look for pigs in the afternoon. We go back out. We decide that Ryan and I are gonna split off from you guys. You guys are gonna go check an area where we've seen pigs before, and Ryan and I decide to go hit a high spot where we can glass. So we're sitting up there glassing and looking around, and we hadn't seen anything, and it's starting to get late. I'm starting to wonder, wow, are we ever going to see anything? You guys didn't see anything either.
No, we didn't.
no.
So it was, it was starting to get late in the afternoon, and one thing when you're glassing is you got to go back, and you got to go back, and you got to go back, because if you know there's pigs there, you just got to keep looking for them. Sooner or later, hopefully they'll show up. Well, here we are. I'm looking through the spotting scope, and I'm looking at an area over 2 miles away. And all of a sudden I look up, and in a little grassy flat, I see 1 pig standing out in this yellow grass. And I told Ryan, I said, I got pigs, so I'm trying to get him on them. And I look, and pretty soon I see other movement, and I see more pigs coming down off a ridge that I would have never seen before because they're in brush and rocks. They come over to the yellow grass flat and they start feeding. Well, I called up Jay and Tad and Laura, said, okay, I got pigs, and here's where they are. So what happened there, Tad? They're a long ways away.
They're probably the 2 miles from you, and Jay said they were 6/10 on the GPS after we harvested, but it was probably half mile up, half mile over nationality.
And straight up.
Steep cactus rocks. So we were for the adventure. It was a little after 4, so we hustled up the hill, and Jay had actually been there, and Laura had been there before, and they told me they had that flat spot. And when we come up, and you had described where there was an intersection and a fence, we could see that, and I almost called you, but we were close. I didn't want to spook anything in front of us, so we kept quiet. I could see the intersection of the fence, and Jay had caught up with this. Farther out past, there was a big herd of about 25 pigs,
Oh,
and I
wow.
thought, that couldn't be what he was talking about. They got to be here. And Laura had actually worked the bolt on that AR, and it must have been still enough and quiet enough. It caused them pigs to flinch, because then I caught movement, and they were at that time probably 400 yards from us.
Now, this is a second group. This is a group that I've probably seen.
The group that you saw.
Yeah.
So Jay and I had seen that flat rock, and Jay says, let's get to that flat rock to set her up. And we did. We worked our way to that one. We were still at about 236, 240 on the range. Well, guess what? There's another flat rock in front of us. So we used trees and the brush and then got to the other flat rock.
So these pigs, though,
They have no idea
they don't
we're
have
here.
a clue. And then there's a second group.
That second group
way
is
out
anher
there.
2 miles away,
Yeah.
farther out. So as we come up, I think there were 7 or 9. They were moving around a little bit. One was completely to the left of the group, where we could set Laura on that rock to get a good rest.
Now,
And,
usually when these pigs, when you find them and they start, and you see one split off, that's usually the herd boar.
that's what we were figuring. And you know, he was kind of whitish, you know, like ghosted out a little bit. We figured that's the biggest one because that grass was tall, and we did. We wanted to beat her brother kind of in this deal.
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah.
he'd got a pig that weighed 31.9.
Something like that.
Yeah, almost 32 pounds, which that is an average javelina in Unit 18B. We've been hunting there for 20-some years, and we keep records. We have a big pig contest, too. It just, what it does is we try to get people to focus on the boars, because I call it job security. I mean, you can take the boars out of the herd, but you start knocking sows out, that's your reproductive bunch. So, you know, yeah, Ryan had got the first one on the board. He's on the board, and you know, you guys are looking and you're thinking, that guy there might be a little bigger than what Ryan's is.
We had Laura on the rock. She said she's a little nervous. I said, just take a few deep breaths, you know, because maybe from her 2 misses earlier in the day, she was a little nervous.
Oops.
Had the video camera running. I was on it. Jay was on it. Range was 185. She was calm. She says, I'm going to take him. And
So what'd you do, Laura? What were you seeing out in front of you? I mean, what were you thinking? I mean, they've got you on a rock, pretty good, steady rock.
Well, the pigs weren't spooked or nothing. They were sitting there. They were calm, feeding. I was rested. I wasn't nervous, shaking, nothing. So I just got ready, and
Which one of the dots did you put on him?
the second one,
Which is the 200-yard dot?
yes.
And so you're up. You got a nice. They got you on a great rest. And pig has no idea that
No.
you guys are there. And he's kind of off by himself. So got a pretty good idea that's probably a boar. Had a little color to him, you know, a little gray beard, you know, like an old guy. So you're thinking, hey, you're good to go.
Yes.
So what do?
I just slowly pulled the trigger, and
What do you
I
do?
watched him through the scope, and he just dropped where he was.
So at the shot, the pig just collapses to the ground.
Yes.
He didn't flop around, jump around, try to get up and run off or nothing.
No, his nerves were working a little bit, but that's
He
it.
wasn't moving.
Nope.
185 yards, one shot, stoned him. So what do?
Well, we gave him a few minutes for him to calm down, and then slowly walk over there behind him, poke him with the stick.
You done?
Yep.
So you got your pig. What is it, male or female?
Male.
Big boar.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what do you got to do then? Now it's getting a little later. I mean, hey, 6 o'clock, it's dark out there. You started this stalk a little after 4. By the time you go up a half a mile and then over, I mean, it's getting a little late. Ryan and I are sitting there, and I heard the one shot, and I'm thinking, okay, not multiple shots, that's bad sign for the pig. So you guys get over there, pig's dead. What do you do?
Well, after
Who
we
field
went,
dressed it?
we both did. Mostly Tad. He showed me an easier way to do it.
Oh, okay.
After we took pictures, that's when we started field dressing it. And when we got all done with that, then we tied them together and put them on a stick, so it's easier to carry down the mountain.
Okay, and who was, you didn't have them guys carry your pig off, did you?
No, I helped.
You helped?
Yes.
How did you help?
I had one end of the stick and Tad had the other.
Oh, okay, so you guys look like you're Zambezi African style, and here you come, right, with your pig off the mountain. Now, folks, I'm going to tell you something. Where they shot the pig, it's flat. Where they're going to come to get back down to the truck, it ain't flat. It is vertical. So we were a little concerned about, the safety aspect, because, I mean, when you're carrying a pig like that and you slip, there's cactus and rocks and everything up there's got a point on it. So so you guys worked your way down off the mountain?
Yes.
And so you get back to the truck. It's just about time to break out flashlights, and you get him back to camp and flip him up on the scales. And what does he go?
About 38.5 pounds.
38 pounds 7 ounces. Now I told you we have a big pig contest, right? And right now we got about, how many people we got on the board? We had about
7.
6 or 7 people on the board. Our big pig, we got a 41 pounder that one of our archery hunters took, and yours went 38.7. And where are you sitting at?
Second place.
She's in second place right now, but she's got ham hunters.
About 15 other people that's going to get on the
Yeah,
board.
there's probably 15 other guys that are coming in, including the Chan boys, and the Chan boys are hard to beat. So. But you got the pig, you got him weighed, and we documented that. And who skinned it?
I did.
You skinned the pig?
Yes.
And you have any problems with it?
No.
No, she did fine. We got a little gambrel set up behind the trailer, and we had the lantern out there and the flashlight. Tad was holding the flashlight and got the lantern set up, and she just went right to it, and she got it all skinned out. Got it caped out. She's thinking about getting it mounted. So if anybody out there would like to mount a javelina for her at a good price, something that we can afford, call us and let us know. So how many pigs have you taken now?
2.
And you've taken them both with that AR?
Yes.
And matter of fact, where you've taken your pigs are probably pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, within quarter, half mile.
Yeah.
Folks, we talk about javelina. Javelina live and die in a square mile. And if you can figure out herd boundaries, you know that you can find them up there. Now, we had been looking up there before, and the day before on Friday, and we didn't see them. But they were there, and they were right on the peripheral. And I think why they were there was because of all the pressure from the archery hunt that had just concluded. I think they got pushed out to the very edge of their home range, but that's always something to remember. If you know where their home range is, they're there. They're not going to leave. You just got to be able to take care of them and glass those areas. Now, what are you doing with your pig? I mean, obviously, you're going to eat the thing. How are you going to get it fixed up?
Probably a sausage.
Gonna have some breakfast sausage made out of it?
Yeah.
That's a good deal. Pigs make great breakfast sausage. A couple guys in town that can do it that do a real nice job. Tad, you had a good time with them?
Oh yeah, it's always fun to take the kids out hunting.
Yeah,
It's always a kick in the pants.
Yeah, there's always some drama going on somewhere.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. All right, well, look, that's all we got time for. Tad, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming out and helping. That was a big help. He was on it. Thank you for coming out
You're welcome.
and
Thank you.
extending it. So the more I think about it, I think you intentionally missed so you could keep the hunt going longer.
Of course.
Of course. Anyway, until next week, this is your host, Don Martin, saying, Keep your firearms oiled, keep your fishing line fresh, and we'll see you next week back at camp.